Welcome everyone to TMOF Wrestling, the Pro Wrestling Roll-Up. We are going to be doing the podcast from now on in video format.
Oh dear.
Oh dear indeed. We're going to try and keep this PG. I don't know if this might not last, in all honesty, but we will try. Not that we're going to be making money anytime soon. We're going to
not off this anyway.
Not off this, no. What are you going to make money from?
What?
Not from predictions.
No, true.
Although you did win.
I won.
By 1 point for the whole Mania weekend.
Yeah, barely won.
Yeah, that was, we did abysmal. We're going to go through all of that today on the episode, on the show. So, for those who are new, you might have come across this. Obviously, this could be on YouTube. So, for those who are new, we should probably introduce ourselves, I think.
Yeah, I'm Ash.
And I'm Russ. Welcome, everybody, once again to the Pro Wrestling Roll-Up, TMOF Wrestling's podcast. So, we've just had Mania weekend.
The long weekend.
Long weekend. A really good weekend overall.
Near enough, yeah.
And a lot of news.
Oh, news.
WWE camp, a lot of news. But also, it wasn't just all WWE. There's been a lot happening, really, over the weekend in a lot of different companies. Obviously, AEW's did, AEW Ring of Honor had Supercard of Honor over the weekend as well. Of course, we've had the Hall of Fame. And, some stories about Rick Steiner and everything else in between. So we are going today to go through our highs and lows. It's not quite ups and downs. We can't take that. That's already been goated.
Why? Because we don't want to do it.
You've got too much hair for it now.
Yeah, no.
Never thought I'd say that.
Hey, this time next year, Mania, it'll probably be gone.
You said, do you know what though? You have said that for many years.
I had though.
Your hair has hung on.
I don't know how.
It hangs on like Vince McMahon in creative.
Ooh.
Just cannot go, can it? Yes, everybody, welcome again to the show. If you are a returning listener, you won't be a returning watcher potentially, but if you're
you've watched the prediction video.
well, for
unboxing video.
All right, sure, but we're talking podcast here. But if you're a returning listener, thank you very much for coming back to us. And if you are a new listener now / watcher, we welcome you to the show. And we hope you're going to have a good time. As I say, we're going to go through everything WrestleMania weekend. There's a lot to cover.
Yeah.
We don't want to go through necessarily a review per se, because 2 nights of WrestleMania is going to take us. It's going to be a really long.
Yeah, we'll try and make this under an hour.
Yeah, probably. Well, we can try. So, highs and lows, WrestleMania weekend. A personal low for me. We will start off with the highs. I don't want to go through all the lows, and there certainly were more highs over the weekend than lows. But personal low for me, and probably for you. For those who watched our predictions videos, which covered NXT Stand and Deliver, WrestleMania obviously Saturday and WrestleMania Sunday, yeah, we didn't have a very good... Particularly, well, actually, I say particularly, it was the same results for NXT Stand and Deliver and WrestleMania Sunday. We came in at, I think it was a negative ratio. I'm going to have a look now and see what they were.
Well, hang on. Let me go by the matches one by one. For NXT, we Chase University won, which we didn't pick.
I did pick, and then I changed my pick, so I shouldn't have done it.
I went for Tiffany Stratton, and you went for Roxanne?
I went for Roxanne. None of us actually went for
Indy,
which, to be fair, she just wasn't on the... I thought that win was great, by the way, but that's... We'll get ahead of ourselves.
It was a good moment. I went for Dragon Lee.
I went for Dragon Lee.
Yeah. At least he didn't get pinned.
Do you know what the overall score was?
Yeah, go on.
2 and 5. Both of us drew at Stand and Deliver. We got 2 right and 5 wrong.
Gargano and Carmelo, isn't it?
Yeah. And WrestleMania Saturday, you got 5-2.
Right. What did I get?
I got 4-3. So and WrestleMania Sunday, we both got 2-4. Bad, very bad.
So what did I get right? What did I get wrong on Mania Saturday?
What did you get wrong on Mania Saturday?
No, I get right on Mania. No, yeah. What did I get wrong on Mania Saturday?
Which one?
What matches did I get wrong?
Right or wrong?
Wrong.
Okay, Mania Saturday. So you got 2 wrong.
The tag match.
You got the tag match wrong, and you got
the 4-way tag, not the main event.
Yeah, so the WrestleMania Men's Showcase. you got wrong, and
Dom?
Ray and Dominic.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a personal low. So the current scores overall right now in our predictions battle. For some clarity on that, we should say we've got a few predictions videos from this year now. So every year we've done this for so long. I mean, because knowing each other for too long.
I was going to say 20 years, but it's not that close.
It is. It might be over 20 years.
2000 and probably like
it's
80
coming.
years.
It is coming up to 20 years. Yeah. What a long time, eh? Well, so we've been doing this for a really long time. But of course now, we're on YouTube, like everyone else. Might as well, everyone else has. Yeah. But, yeah, we thought we were going to do the predictions war. We'll bring it to the masses.
All 10 of you.
Well, we appreciate you.
I mean, not 100 people subscribing plus, but...
I'm really grateful for that. We started out with nothing. You've got to be grateful for every person.
Exactly.
24 and 14 you are, and I am 21 and 17. So you pulled away by 1 point. Personally, though, as on a high point, I think that's pretty good, considering that with all the matches that we had over the weekend, there was real potential here for someone to really pull away.
Could have been.
But most of our predictions were the same, and I think that's why we've sort of stuck. WrestleMania Sunday was the only one where we kind of veered off a bit.
It was that, and there was multiple matches like triple threat, fatal 4-way tags.
Always tricky. Yeah.
Fatal 5 ways. So yeah.
But yeah. Well, let's talk about some highs over the WrestleMania weekend.
Yes.
I'll kick things off with one of mine, and it's going to come from NXT Stand and Deliver. The 5-way match for the North American Championship. I don't think I've ever seen a 5-way match better than that, ever. I really thoroughly enjoyed that. And Dragon Lee was great, but my absolute standout in the whole match, Wesley was obviously fantastic, but Dragunov.
Yeah, it's like...
There's too many dragons.
There's 2 dragons, there's 2 Lees.
Someone's got to shave their hair and become a manager, and that's a very real possibility.
Yeah.
No, Dragunov was just... I love Dragunov so much, and I reckon, like we said, that it's not that I don't... It's not that I don't enjoy him in NXT, but when he is on main roster, if we can get him and Gunter again,
please,
then you know what I mean. Like him and Gunter round 3 is going to be incredible. But yeah, that was honestly for me a high from the weekend. What's one of yours? Or any of yours?
Triple threat for the IC title is the main one.
We'll have to talk about that a bit, won't we?
Yeah, that was so good.
For when we have done reviews for a full show, obviously, people give star ratings and things. I chose to be a bit awkward. If you've heard this before, you know where it's going. But if you're not and you're new, for your benefit, the way I sort of did the ratings for matches was to use trophies. So out of every match on the card, one match gets bronze, one gets silver, one gets gold. It's all very silly, but it's wrestling and we like silly stuff, don't we?
Yeah.
And if there was anything that was really blowing me away, and we're talking like that potential match of the year candidate, then that's the platinum. WrestleMania was difficult because there could have been a few platinums for the whole thing. I think you have to probably go from treat night 1 and night 2 individually. You've got to look at WrestleMania overall for the both nights.
Yeah.
But I think if you're going to pick like a match of the night or do that sort of thing, you do it per night. Do you know what I'm going to do? Because we're going to circle back to this triple threat now, because it is coming. But I'll say for Stand and Deliver, bronze, silver and gold, I think my bronze goes to Hayes and Breaker. Because it was a good main event, but everybody's super clearly behind Hayes. Again, it's awesome, but it's just weird because he was the heel, really.
At the time.
At the time. Obviously, that's changed, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But so that was a bronze. I'd say the silver, for me, probably Gargano and Waller. And the gold was the 5-way. Hesitant to give it platinum, and I don't know if that's because I'm just being mean, because it's a multi-man match and it feels weird. It shouldn't really matter.
Shouldn't matter.
And actually, it won't matter in a minute. So, because then WrestleMania Night 1, the bronze, I think, has to go to... I'm denied about this, and I'm going to do it. The bronze goes to that WrestleMania Men's Showcase. And you're going to want to talk about that.
I'm
sure.
definitely going to talk about that.
It goes to that because that was an amazing surprise in a really good way. Bronze goes to that. Silver goes to Rhea Ripley and Charlotte, and gold goes to the main event tag team match.
Yes,
but that was a hard decision because you could have flipped them. They absolutely made the right call, putting the tag team championships on as the main event. But in retrospect, if that was the main event we got between Charlotte and Rhea Ripley, I don't think people would have left disappointed.
Oh no, I would say the same thing.
Not only because of the result, but because that match, as soon as Charlotte got dropped on her face from that German, that was it took a new level. But it was fantastic, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So good. And then for night 2, so for Sunday, tricky one.
It is, but I think it can be done.
It can be done, but it is tricky. I'd give my bronze to, weirdly, I'm going to give the bronze to Brock Lesnar and Omos, because there's not really, I can't give it to Snoop as much as I want to.
Can you not give it to Shane McMahon's quad?
Oh no, man. All the best wishes to Shane, but I think bronze probably to Omos and Brock Lesnar. Silver, I think, would probably have to go to Bianca and Asuka.
Yeah, fair enough.
Gold, I would give to the main event, Cody and Roman.
Which we'll talk about in a bit, I reckon.
I was a bit, it's a shame because the Hell in a Cell's not there, and I did enjoy it. But we'll have to talk about night 2 in a bit. But Platinum from night 2 is the triple threat.
By miles.
Fantastic match, absolutely fantastic. My goodness, I don't think there was any. They couldn't have done anything more to have stole the show. They really couldn't have done.
No.
It didn't need weapons. It didn't need any screwy finishes and things like that. That's not a jab to the main event, but it just didn't need it. And I should have stuck with Gunter because I said I knew Gunter was going to retain. I went for Sheamus. I went with my heart, not my head.
Well, after the story came out about Drew probably not re-signing a new contract, it made me go, okay, he's not going to win.
Yeah, but there's still time for him to sign a new one.
There is.
It's not. It might not necessarily be a case that he's not going to sign the contract because he doesn't want to be there anymore. Sometimes it's a leverage thing, isn't it? You get more money. It's a business.
Yeah,
it's a business. God damn it, business. Damn it. Anyway, that triple threat then.
That triple threat. That was just crazy. The amount of stuff they were doing to each other. We thought when we were in Cardiff, how unbelievable that Sheamus Gunter match was.
And it was unbelievable.
And who thought, even if you added another man in Drew, how much better it could be? Every kick out, every big move, every chop, I got into it.
Yeah.
And this is, because I missed it, I couldn't watch day 1 live because I had to go do work in the morning on Sunday. So I watched day 1 when I got back home at like 7 o'clock at night. I only had like an hour finishing off day 1 to day 2 starting, so I was pretty tired. But that woke me up.
It's the noise alone would wake you up, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Just from all the chops.
Who would have said Drew had louder chops than Gunter?
Do you know what? I saw that and I thought a one-on-one between Drew and Gunter's what I want now.
Yeah, but
I loved it. They could do that match
on SmackDown or
every night. We said that, didn't we? I think, was that the one we said? Just do the match every...
They had them two fight every...
No, that's what we said about Dragunov and Gunter.
Yeah.
We'll do that as well.
Now that... Because there's a interview with Gunter and all Imperium, really. And I'll talk about that in a minute, about Imperium, about how much they did the intro and then go away. That's the WrestleMania moment.
Yeah, but that was good for the match.
Kayla Braxton interviewed Gunter, and he's talking about how he's got no one can beat him. Dragunov, that's got to happen now.
Dragunov.
But I wonder how much. Wow.
If Butch goes back to Pete Dunne, but again, we don't know what the creative direction is now, do we?
Yeah. Well, apparently that's going to happen at the end of the year. Probably won't happen now. But yeah, how much do you think Imperium and the Brawling Brutes got for just appearing at the entrance?
Yeah.
And to be dressed up for it, like they were going to be wrestling, but they just do the intro. Highlight, actually, think about the set.
The set was great.
Yeah.
I really liked that. That was probably that had to have been their big. The ramp was definitely the biggest, like in terms of the sheer height of it.
Yeah, it wasn't long like 34, because that was very long.
No, I don't know. I don't think it was far off. It was definitely a long ramp, but it was just a really tall ramp.
Yeah,
but it's, I think, one of the best sets
it's
at WrestleMania, and it obviously played into the whole Hollywood aesthetic and everything. Yeah, I think that was easily probably one of the best ones. The thing is, though, there was a lot going on with it, and because you had like the movie, because it was kind of set up to be like the movie theatre.
Yes,
and you had like posters of it was just like the actual wrestlers themselves, the superstars themselves, wasn't it? And the like just scrolling like movie posters.
Couldn't really get a good look at what the posters were, but I think some of them would be like the trailers for like.
I thought they were just like cool sort of graphics for the wrestlers themselves, but they was also taken from movies. So I saw Pretty Woman. Was it? It might have been Pretty Woman, or it might have been something about Mary. It was it was done in that style, but it was one of the ladies, and I can't remember who it was on. But they were doing that, so it was like it was kind of like the trailers, but as the posters. And I thought that was really cool. But again, like you didn't get to really see them properly. That's how nerdy we are. We like that sort of stuff. So if you enjoy a good set, if you also like to hear us moan about, oh, miss the good old days with flash photography, you've come to the right show, because we love a bit of flash photography, don't we?
Yeah, we love it, Ed and Christian. But go back to Triple Threat.
Yeah,
it's like believable false finishes. It's like, when was this going to end?
Yeah.
It kind of, but when you look back at it, you go, well, Gunnar was out the ring for a long time, and then when he comes back in and does the powerbomb onto was it he put Sheamus onto Drew, or was it the other way around? The powerbomb.
I can't remember it.
It doesn't matter, but it doesn't matter. But like, it does that powerbomb, then he powerbombs someone else, then wins. It's like my reaction was, good luck following that.
Nothing really did.
I mean, the women's match was next, and it was good. But it was just no following it.
So, before we move away from Gunther and everything there, I watched Ariel Helwani's interview with Gunther.
I watched that, yeah.
And I honestly, a highlight was that interview for me.
How he's a heel, I have no idea. Gunther just seems like the nicest guy in the world.
He's just like, yeah, I think for us, obviously here on TMF Wrestling, we love Gunther.
Yes. But
watching that, I've not really seen him sort of talk out of character so much, and he wasn't out of character in the sense that, you know, he was out of character. He was talking as himself, but himself didn't stray far from what Gunther is. If that makes sense. Like, Gunther's just a heel though, but speaking as a real person, it didn't destroy any kind of mystique behind Gunther.
No.
If anything, it just confirmed, you know, like, the guy's a hard man.
Yeah.
And but I just thought he came across really well. And overall, you know, I think that's the kind of guy, I reckon, if he stays in the company for a long time, then I can't see how he doesn't end up with a world title run at some point. And that's not to sort of demean because he's kind of arse that, isn't he? And that's what I like. The Intercontinental Championship is his focus right now, and he doesn't plan on losing that anytime soon. So, you know, I like that about him. He's not, you know, obviously he wants to be a world champion, but what he's got right now, he understands the importance of it, and actually his impact on potentially what a future Intercontinental Championship, not division, but what that title and the matches around that title could mean. I think they've probably set a new standard. I don't think if you have Intercontinental Championship matches now and they're not those kind of big, hard-hitting affairs like that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they all need to be really stiff or anything, but like, they've got to... It was always called the working man's title.
It was, because you had like Bret Hart, Mr. Perfect, Shawn Michaels.
And now it feels again like a working man's title. I think you said this on predictions, but you know, the title has not meant this much or felt this important for a really long time. I think The Miz gets overlooked.
Yeah.
But you said The Miz...
Miz's run when he did the pipe bomb with Brian.
Yeah, so that was around 2016.
Since that, the IC title's just been... We've had rough runs with it, like Ricochet didn't have a great run.
There's really rough runs with it, and that's not really on the talent.
It's
not
not.
all the time, at least, anyway. But Miz... yeah. Oh, God.
We're getting there. We're going to get there.
But, yeah, I don't know. If there's anyone out there that didn't enjoy that match, do feel free to comment below.
And that's fine.
Yeah, it's absolutely fine. But I'd be more interested to know what you don't like about it. I'd be willing to bet, because in general, most people don't like. Well, most people, but there are a lot of people that don't like multi-man matches.
Gunter and all of his interviews said I don't like him.
Gunter literally said in the interview with Ariel Helwani, he'd have preferred a one-on-one, but. Again, it didn't stop him going out there and having what I think, this might be a controversial take, what I think was better than him and Sheamus at Clash. Sheamus and Gunther at Clash was really special.
I think because we were there as well.
We were there as well. But I think even if we weren't there, the rest of the world looking at that was like, yeah, this is a fantastic match.
Yeah.
But we were there for it. And that's always going to be really special. But I think objectively, that triple threat was, yeah... I think
it's just going to be like...
It's a different match, isn't it? So saying it's better is probably not the best way of putting it. That probably is coming across wrong. But I suppose if I say better, I guess it's a case of like, if you sat me down and said, right, you pick one and you can never see the other one again, a tough choice, I'd cry, but I'd pick the triple threat.
That's giving me an idea.
Don't tie me to a chair.
No. It's...
I mean, you can if you want. How much are you paying for it?
What?
To tie me to a chair.
I'm not doing that.
Oh.
But it's giving me an idea. Like, something I've wanted to do for a while is to
tie me to a chair?
No, not that. Well, I tied you to a chair next to a railroad track, but...
Next to the track?
Yeah.
What, so I can watch the trains?
Yeah. Oof. Oh, I missed. Pick 3 matches in a kind of like F, Marry, Killed situation. where,
I like this already.
Where you can watch one every day for the rest of your life.
That's marriage.
Watch one for one day, and one day only, and one you never watch again.
So, okay, so one you'd never watch again, but I reckon one
you can only watch one more time.
One you'll watch every day for the rest of your life, but the one that you only watch one time, you're there live for. Because it's got to have a bit of thrill to it. Like the other version of that game.
but it's
all right, that's going to be an episode.
Yeah, pick 3 matches, and for example, do Dragunov against Gunter, Walter, the first one.
Yeah.
The Triple Threat Mania.
Yeah.
And the match with Sheamus Gunter at Clash.
Oh, that's really because they're mean ones.
It's like.
But you could be mean on the other way.
Yeah.
Carlito versus Sandman. Great American Bash. Vince McMahon versus Pat McAfee from WrestleMania last year. And...
Oh, I don't know, actually.
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to really think about it. No, but I've got to complete this now because you've got to do it. Okay, what's an objectively... What do we enjoy?
What do you mean enjoy? When you're talking about Kelly?
Let's go for Great Khali versus what was that really bad one?
That narrows it down. Great Khali.
It was early on. It was during his world title reign.
It had Kane and Batista, didn't he?
Let's just say the Batista Punjabi prison match. So you got him and Batista Punjabi prison, Carlito versus Sandman, the Singapore Cane match, and Vince McMahon versus Pat McAfee at WrestleMania 38.
You want me to do it now?
Yeah. I just
you haven't done the Gunter one.
Oh, I'll do that after you've done this.
I watch every day the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Punjabi prison.
That's probably, I'd probably say the same.
Watch once the Pat against Vince.
Live.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I hate the Last Latino.
Carlito and Sam.
Yeah, Sam, because it's a Singapore cane match where someone brings Kane down, swings, misses, Carlito does the backstabber, 1, 2, 3.
It's great. Okay.
So I give you all these good matches, and you give me those. No.
Yeah, but that's the fun of the game. Right, what were my picks for the triple threat? Sheamus and Gunter at Clash,
And the first
Dragunov and Walter. Oh, okay, right. So I've already seen. I saw Sheamus and Gunter live.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna not watch that one ever again. Weirdly, I'd watch the triple threat live once because it's a WrestleMania, and then I'd watch Walter versus Dragunov every day for the rest of my life. Actually, I don't know. I'll get back to you on that.
No, you have to stick with your choices.
It's
like predictions. You have to stick with your first choice.
We should have. That was a lesson learned from predictions. We should have stuck with our original gut instincts. But yeah, other highlights from the weekend, or from I suppose WrestleMania in general. Back on track. We will veer off. We will veer Mahan. That's what we do.
Yeah, we do that.
That's what we do that.
We debuted a year ago today.
Was it a year today?
Yeah, it was the night after Mania.
Wow, after 27 long years of build-up,
yeah,
he finally debuted. No, he's on NXT.
Yeah, back where we started.
So, yeah, brilliant. Okay. Do you know what another highlight for me was?
Go on.
Which was weirdly, it was kind of a low, but it was also a high. We really wanted Alter Bridge to play Edge out, but what we got instead was pretty cool.
It was.
Slayer. South of Heaven.
Well, yeah, weirdly, South of Heaven, even though South of Heaven is the name of a move from a member of Judgment Day.
Yeah, but...
And Judgment Day, your second coming will arise. I think that's why they did it.
Oh, I guess maybe. I suppose... What was funny about it, because obviously it was Brood Edge,
yeah,
but it wasn't Brood Edge.
It was broody, all right.
It was Brood, yeah. Because obviously nothing about it was like old school Brood Edge, other than the fact it said Brood Edge on the video. But and I've seen people saying like, well, it wasn't Brood Edge, but like the point was, it was really cool.
It was.
You know, like I still would say, and again, it's never, you shouldn't do like, oh, this is better than this and this and this. You know, but
it's easy to do.
It is easy to do, and I think like last year's entrance, like I said before, I never shut up about it because it's one of my favourites. This year's was still really cool, but I think I was more kind of just like, oh my god, they're playing Slayer, so I had to watch it again and appreciate it a bit more. But at the time, I was just like, oh my god, they're playing Slayer.
Yes, you remember how was it Rainy 27 with Triple H come out to film the Battle Tolls? And then when it came out on DVD, it was like a different version.
Yeah, I wonder if that'll happen.
Probably.
This, like,
but then again, they had Madonna song at May 28, and they kept that on the network and DVD. So
it depends on how much it costs. But
that and how much they actually care about the song.
I think it was awesome. I think Edge's whole entrance was awesome. Finn Balor's entrance, though, was a low light.
It was
controversial.
It wasn't great, probably because it was still light. I think it needed to be dark.
That I'm going to say now, actually, because I said that on night one, what I couldn't work out is when you've had open stadium WrestleManias in the past, you probably get maybe the first 3 matches where it's light, but then it starts to kind of like you hit that evening point where it goes,
well, we went through
gets darker, and then the rest of the night remains dark, right? Yeah. But it didn't.
But we went through this. We went through this with, I think it's 31. How into the main event it got really dark. And that was California as well, wasn't it?
Maybe it must be because where it is, yeah.
Because
just gets lighter later, darker later.
Yeah, and plus like
because it's a massive shame because actually I said during the Ray and Dominic match, which we'll come to, but that Ray and Dominic match but by that point it was already fairly dark, and the lighting looked awesome.
It did,
really good. But yeah, it's I suppose a low light, but it's nitpicky stuff.
Yeah, like I said, the darkness wasn't there. I like the fact he had the flares.
I didn't mind the flares. I just didn't like the slow mo. I think that's what did it for me. And I'll be honest. I think Demon Finn Balor looked more intimidating without the tassel wig.
Yeah.
And the spiky mohawk. As soon as that come off, Finn Balor's paint and everything, he looks really good.
Also,
I thought that looked amazing. I'd have rather have seen that without the thing, But the slow-mo, it just, I don't know. I'm probably just being grumpy. Maybe it's old man energy, I don't know. But it felt a little cheesy.
But the fact that it's heel demon was weird as well.
I liked that, though.
It's
I liked that. Low light. Finn Balor did get hurt. Never like to see that happen. He's not the only one that got injured that night, but he got hurt. And speculation about how much that might have changed the match. I don't think it changed the winner. I think the winner was definitely going to be Edge. They wouldn't have finished the match with a concerto when he had a head injury. If that was called on the fly to finish. And they've already had one on the fly finish by this point.
Was it? I thought it was the other way around.
What?
I thought Hell in a Cell was before the... Maybe I'm wrong.
No, it was definitely after. So what happened was everyone's seen what happened with Shane. We'll come back to Hell in a Cell. But this was my... This was a...
It was a low...
This is a collective low.
Yeah, because we were told, there's going to be surprises.
Yeah, Nick Khan. Well, those surprises. You're worse than Tony. So... Well, maybe not. But collective low from WrestleMania Sunday was from Bianca Belair and Asuka's finish throughout the rest of the night. It was a real kind of roller coaster. And not in like the exciting way that night one was for me. So essentially, Bianca, as I said, I felt like we both said we picked Asuka. Felt like Asuka really should have won it.
Yeah.
But Bianca winning, I can see why they've done it. She's a wonderful champion. One of the best wrestlers in terms of just pure natural ability. She's a freak athlete. And yeah, I'd say she's one of the best wrestlers.
Yeah, definitely.
In terms of like where she currently is right now in her career, she'll be GOAT one day.
Getting close to it.
Yeah, it'll be GOAT status. I'm calling it. I think Bianca's amazing. And her entrance, I loved the entrance. That was really cool as well. Those kids were super talented. That one that came out, the little one where she put her legs over her head.
Do you know the story about her?
No.
Her mum died the day, I think it's either the day before or on that day.
No way. What, the little girl that come out?
The contortionist one.
Oh, bless her. Is that genuinely?
Yeah, because Triple H said it on the press conference.
Oh, bless her. Well, I didn't know that.
But you wouldn't
have thought, no, because they just look so happy. And that's what I mean. And I think that's what helped me kind of... The end of that match was, I think, sucked a bit of the life out of the crowd because they really wanted Asuka. I really wanted Asuka, but...
If they want to make her the Undertaker of women's division, fine, at Mania, fine, but...
I just think maybe long term with it, again, like sometimes, look, Bianca's great.
She is.
It'll work out. It's a shame Asuka's still not got that Mania win and stuff, but like, you know, there's been some weird stuff with Asuka. Quick detail.
Yeah, she hasn't had a Mania win at all, has she?
No, that was it. So it's 0-5, which is kind of like us actually on our predictions at one point. But
probably at the time the match happened.
There's been some weird stuff on Twitter with Asuka, and I think people that have been really like going at her, and do stop doing that. Just for everybody.
I wasn't sure.
This is why I take so many social media breaks.
I wasn't sure if that was in character or if that was just the fact that someone said it.
Well, I think a little bit of both, but you know, regardless of whether it was or not, there's too much of it goes on.
The fact she saw it Vince came back.
Yeah, social media breaks, everybody. Take them, especially if you feel the need that you've got to comment negatively on stuff. And you're welcome to have differences of opinion, but the attacking people has got to stop. But yeah, I can see why people were a bit bummed out. I was a bit like deflated from it and stuff. But look, you take a step back and like what you're saying there, like those kids were so happy to be there, and the circumstance like that's unreal. Can't even imagine that. That's the most important thing at the end of the day, innit? Yeah. Like, are you going to try to? Well, we'll have to just make Asuka win. Otherwise, all of these annoyed man babies in the crowd. And people like us that will complain about it on Twitter.
I've always said though.
Do you know what I mean? Like, are you gonna? What's it more important? Like a moment like that to those kids, like that means a lot more in the grand scheme of things than pleasing people for the one quick title change.
I've always said that sometimes it doesn't matter how much a good match is.
How much a match is good?
Whatever. It doesn't matter to me about that kind of stuff. Sometimes. The result doesn't matter as long as the match is great for me. Sometimes, if it's like a weird finish, then it kind of like we'll go to the main event. of night 2. It kind of deflates it a bit, but Triple H Booker T, right? At Mania 19. That's not a bad match. It's just a weird finish for a weird story.
I would argue, though, that's when you have to let things marinate and see how things play out, because that, I would still say, is bad overall.
It is bad,
because it was the end of the story. It didn't lead and set... There wasn't any redemption. There wasn't a proper payoff.
Well, they kind of...
Not really.
Yeah, but on Raw, Booker T did pin Triple H. That makes a difference.
It's not the same. And that's different. Here, again, I just think that when you look at what Bianca means to people, that's what I mean. Like, in terms of her being a great champion, that's a sort of... You need that. And I 100% see why they kept it on her, and I've got no issue with it now. But at the time, it was that first thing that I felt over Mania that was a bit like, oh, that felt a bit, you know... We'll come to Ray and Dominic, but like I thought that was amazing.
Did you think, though, when Street Profits won, that she would win? Because sometimes they do, like...
No, I don't.
Because after day one, when Seth won and then Becky won her match, sometimes
I don't think that always matters. I don't think
it doesn't. That
wouldn't factor into the booking.
Sometimes they do that. Have one person.
I think that's more coincidence than anything. I don't think that's a booking decision, not a conscious one. But yeah, that happened, and it was a bit okay. And then we get Miz and Snoop Dogg. And I kind of felt like we were going to do another one with Miz on this night, because it was very clear Bobby Lashley and LA Knight weren't going to come out for a match. Hashtag lowlight.
When Bobby Lashley came out...
I just hashtagged.
Fuck that.
God damn it. There goes the PG.
I said funk that.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, when Bobby Lashley came out with the Andre Giant Memorial Trophy... There was no way he was going to come out again.
No, I know, and that was a low light for me. We'll move on from it now, because I'm annoyed.
We need a highlight now.
I'm annoyed about it. Well, I've got to finish the big low light, but I didn't mind Miz, because I thought, look, they're already one match shorter. This already feels like, you know, we're rapidly getting through these matches. I thought, yeah, we're going to see another Miz one here. Let's see who the surprise is. Thought it'd be Bobby Lashley. It wasn't.
Jay White.
It was never going to be Jay White.
No,
But what did we get? Here comes the money, Shane McMahon, and I just went, oh, and I do like Shane, Attitude Era Shane.
Yeah.
Love it.
I think we did, even though we didn't watch it together, I think we both had the same reaction of, oh, for God's sake.
Yeah, I just thought, but it wasn't, do you know what? It wasn't necessarily just because it was Shane McMahon himself. I still do enjoy seeing Shane. I think it was that it's a shame that he had that run where he really became like too much. He became too much, and it was because that he got that pop when he returned.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of like got blown out of proportion of how big of a star he really was. But he is Shane McMahon. I do like him. He does some great stuff that he doesn't need to do. But you think of all the stuff, all the crazy things he's done in matches, and then this happened in this one. But so I wasn't annoyed at the fact that I was in Shane McMahon. I was one of those that I was like, look, we've got time for this, and we can't get Bobby Lashley on the show properly. We can't get LA Knight on the show properly. We can't get Maximum Male Models at WrestleMania. The greatest tag team in the history. Don't look at me like that.
That should have been in the showcase then.
Should have been the showcase. Should have been the main event. It should have been them taking on the Usos. I said it. Yeah. But no, you could have had a lot of different stuff, and it was Shane. Anyway, no one wants to see someone get injured. Shane McMahon jumps up over the Miz, hits a leapfrog, lands. I thought it was his knee. It looked like it was his knee. Triple H confirmed he tore his quad.
Shane, you're part of the McMahon family. Of course you've done your quad.
Of course he's done his quad. But yeah, all the crazy stuff he's done, and it was a leapfrog that tore his quad.
Yeah.
Mad, isn't it, really? And that's what I mean, sometimes freak accident. Actually, mind you, we had that horrible concussion from that Survivor Series match.
Oh, yeah, it was bad.
A few years ago. But yeah, that happened, and it was kind of awkward. They kept the camera on the Miz. Miz is kind of like, circling, and you could just tell in his face, like, he's in character. It's like, oh, what do we do? I think Snoop Dogg called the audible of punching the Miz, which was amazing.
Yeah.
And then you can hear Jessica Carr, the referee, shouting at Snoop Dogg, "People's elbow!" It takes a little while, and Snoop's like, all right, hits what the internet is calling the worst people's elbow ever. I think that's disgusting. I think it was the best people's elbow ever. It was second best. The best people's elbow is the one where The Rock did the slide.
Oh, the slides are amazing.
That's the best people's elbow ever. This was the second best.
Go on.
He threw. Do you see what sunglasses he was wearing?
No.
Can't remember what the brand was. It was Giorgio something maybe. It was a really it was a big brand, and just to do this on the fly because like to kind of save this segment, and he takes them off and throws them to the crowd. Somebody probably got the money that they paid for their seat in that front row area of WrestleMania. He probably made that money back from them sunglasses.
Probably.
That's mad, right? But yeah, he hits the people's elbow, pins the Miz, 1, 2, 3. Snoop Dogg really is Hall of Fame worthy now. But they would have lost a lot of time from that. But it was great that they managed to save it. It sucked that Shane got injured. And again, it was a weird thing after what a lot of people felt was deflating with the Bianca retain. And then, of course, then you get Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
And awesome match. I really did enjoy it. But the stoppage was like, oh, God, it's Hell in a Cell. And they're stopping it for a bit of blood. Now, I'm going to say, the photo that they showed of Finn Balor's head afterwards,
Jeez.
You can completely understand why they were having to stop that match. Did you know he had to be glued and stapled?
I thought I knew
during the match.
I didn't know about the staples, but because I was thinking, how is he not bleeding still?
Glue and stapled.
I knew it'd be glue because I remember Christian telling a story about, I think it was May 26. He got busted open in the Money in the Bank match.
Yes.
And they had to glue him.
Yeah.
John Moxley, when he was Dean Ambrose, did the same thing at 31.
Yeah, you won't catch him doing that anymore.
Yeah. I was thinking, yeah, John, that's how you get cut properly. Get a ladder thrown at you.
And staples, though.
Yeah.
Unreal. And they carried the match on, and it was great. But it halted the momentum a bit, and we don't know maybe whether or not it was cut a little bit shorter. But
one of my favourite moments in that match was when Balor drop kicks Edge into the table, and then there's like a 5-second delay where the table bit goes into Edge's face.
Yeah, that's a cool visual. The execution, DDT Impaler off of the ladder.
Tribute.
Well, actually, it was tribute to Gangrel, wasn't it?
Yeah, and tribute to when he did it to Eddie at SmackDown 2002.
Yes. Also hit the kill switch, or used to be called the Unprettier, which is now a different move. But
what is it called now?
It's called the kill switch.
Is it still kill switch?
But the Unprettier was used. A different move was called the Unprettier.
Tyler Breeze used it.
I think that would it.
I don't know if it was that. I don't know if it was the same move.
No, I think it was a different move.
But definitely called it.
Think.
It wasn't the spinning wheel kick, was it?
Might have been, but I don't think it was.
Don't
know. No. But yeah, again, overall good match. Edge winning.
Fine.
I think that was the only other thing. Like, I love Edge, and it probably might be his last Mania. You say it every year, but it was just, again, it was one of those kind of like the Asuka thing. You're like, Demon Finn Balor, why?
Lost 2 in a row.
I know, and I don't even care that the Demons lost 2 in a row, but it just felt like I think just wanted Finn to win weirdly, but it's just, again, like Edge was the face, and that's like the feel good ending, I guess, technically.
Yeah.
But it just felt weird. I don't know. It's hard to explain it. And then, of course, the main event, which was easily one of the best main events ever. It had a big fight feel.
Yeah.
It was one of the biggest matches in WrestleMania history in terms of the build. The match itself was one of the best main event matches at WrestleMania ever until the finish.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't care that Roman retained. I'm saying it.
But after the free count, I'm thinking, well, if it's not Cody, who's it going to be?
Yeah. Look, I think for everybody that is out there with the opinion of, look, Cody's never going to be as over as he is right now at WrestleMania. That's true. There is truth to that. But it's not like you can't make the magic again. We won't have the exact same magic as it was at WrestleMania, but you don't know what could happen down the road. We could get to the point where this becomes such a big blood feud that you look back and go, God, actually, I'm really glad they didn't do it at Mania. You've got to look at the other side of it. Like, they want to clearly get Roman past the 1,000 day mark.
Oh, I care about that.
So he can beat Pedro Morales.
Yeah, someone put online like it would be this day when he will beat like all these records that are ahead of him.
Well, he's got to make it to SummerSlam to reach number 3 as third longest reigning. So it's going to happen. And look, I picked Cody to win it and that was the first time I've gone against Roman.
And it cost you.
It cost me, but it's the first time because, like everyone else, I was like, the booking's perfect. But he didn't, and Roman won. And, you know, in retrospect, again, had to let it marinate a little bit, and I watched the match again. And in retrospect, the decision of Roman winning could mean more down the road. People were annoyed when he beat Brock last year. But if he hadn't done, would we have got Sami Zayn?
Probably not.
No. And that's what I mean. Like, it's not like you can't... Just because something feels like it's at its absolute peak now, it could still get a lot better. Imagine that. Like, and if it does, and I know now...
But he's running out of people.
I know now it's sort of feeling a little bit like, oh no, well maybe not, because... Yeah, but is that necessarily a bad thing, actually? Because if you think about it...
The only person...
If you kind of know as a fan he's going to retain now until at least SummerSlam, because he's got to meet that milestone, no matter who you put him in there with isn't going to be believable enough to beat him between now and then.
No.
Potentially, depending on how it's built. Right?
Yeah, true. I mean, it's two people he hasn't fought during this reign. Like, he hasn't had a match with... I don't think he's had a match with AJ.
No, so it depends when AJ comes back.
And then there's always Orton.
And
then
Orton.
I don't think on... Because I know people can say The Rock, but...
That match is going to happen one day.
It should have happened this year, probably, but...
But look, I don't know. I'm not upset that Roman retained it. Was it weird to have Mania end on that note? Kind of. But then if Roman and Cody was always going to have to be the main event for the whole thing. It had to be. And if Roman's going to win it, you can't get around. Roman is going to have his hand raised at the end. What I just didn't like was I just didn't like the finish.
It just felt...
The finish really sucked the life out of me.
Because imagine if they had given the permission to have Dustin come in and help out.
I can't. Yeah, I know. That's great. It's awesome fantasy booking stuff, but I do try my absolute hardest to not do that sort of stuff, because that is genuinely how you can make something worse for yourself, by thinking of the best possible scenario for you, what you would like. Chances are it's probably not going to happen, and then they'll never meet those expectations, so you'll never really be happy. And I think that's a big part of where we are now as wrestling fans. But it was the only reason I didn't like the finish is because there wasn't anything new about it. It was the same finish.
We had the same.
It was kind of like an alternate version, director's cut version of what we got at Clash with Drew. But
I always find it funny when people complain about this, but they will never complain when it's another heel doing the same thing in any other company, no matter if it's AEW, New Japan, or whatever.
What?
Having the heel always win because someone else helping him. That's the idea.
Oh, yeah, well, I know I don't really necessarily have an issue with Roman cheating to win, but he shouldn't have to do it every time.
I said this before we started. Like, it was just weird that, it's Solo again.
Yeah, I can't quite... Look, I'm not booking it. I'm not going to pretend to be a booker. I'm not.
Can you dig it?
Can you dig it, sucker? But I can't pretend to be the booker. All I can say is like how it made me feel. And if that was the intention, I guess bravo, like that's what it did. But I didn't like the fact that it was... Do you know what? I wouldn't have minded that it was Solo if he wasn't already out there at the beginning. Yeah. Because Solo and Cody have had their things like that. It kind of is like an FU to Cody. Oh, you're not ready, Solo. You're not ready. Cody, giving him grief for a couple of weeks and talking down at him. And ultimately, Solo was the deciding factor. Cody gave Solo his first loss in WWE, and Solo inadvertently gives Cody his first loss.
Yeah.
So there is a story to be told there when you read between the lines, and you kind of, if your emotion settles down. But it just felt a bit... I don't know what it is. It just felt underwhelming. But Roman winning all the time by cheating... Look, a heel cheats to win is an old thing. But Roman is genuinely a powerhouse. And I don't think he should always have to. I think in that main event, you had to.
Yeah.
You had to. I think if Roman had gone over clean, that's worse for Cody.
Yeah.
It is. That's worse for Cody. Because then you look at Cody Rhodes and you go, well, you're not going to finish the story. You weren't good enough. We're at least doing this as as it is. At least you look at it and go, well, Cody only lost because he cheated. So it does protect Cody in that regard. Like, you can't argue that.
One more thing. During the entrance, when Cody gave the weightlifter belt to
Oh, Brody Jr.
Yeah, I was going to say it wasn't -1, was it?
It was.
Was it -1?
Yeah, that was him.
He got masked.
He's unmasked. He's unmasked. The WWE TV. He's made his
Whoa.
debut.
Yeah.
See, that was Tony Khan. That was who Tony Khan gave to him. You couldn't have Christian, and you couldn't have Dustin. Dustin Rhodes probably wouldn't have been there anyway, actually, because his daughter had given birth, I think, over Mania weekend. So congratulations.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. Very lovely. Always nice to see that stuff. But look, I want to be real clear about it. Like, yes, that was a long sort of like thing on the low, because it was like a continuous stretch. But a big high for me for the whole thing was WrestleMania.
Yeah.
It was a great WrestleMania.
Yeah, as much as night 1 was amazing and night 2 kind of was disappointing in a way.
Compared to night 1,
Compared to night 1, it was still... If it was, even if they swapped the dates around, I think would we still say the same thing? I don't know.
Hard to say, but overall WrestleMania was fantastic. It was a really good WrestleMania, and I did enjoy it. It'll be one of those. We'll see where stories go.
Yeah. Because
again, you kind of have to see what plays out with certain things. Because if all ends well, you don't get there unless. Well, maybe you potentially don't get there unless you had the finishes to WrestleMania. True. Snoop Dogg might win the Royal Rumble.
Nah, he's gonna win Money in the Bank.
Snoop Dogg high moment.
Literally. And he had more moments than you thought. He brought out Rey Mysterio.
Just gonna say, Rey Mysterio was awesome.
It's one of our favourite songs because of Cards Against Humanity.
It's just it's just best hip hop song ever.
I'd personally say
contender.
Personally, I'd say Lose Yourself is the best.
Lose Yourself. Yeah.
I don't know much of a hip hop rap fan, but
Ray is that goated that he gets 3 entrance songs.
Yeah.
Come out to Eddie's music started playing. That was awesome.
That was cool.
And then obviously his.
I wish they cut to Dom's reaction like, no, that's my dad.
That's my dad's song. What are you doing? I thought that whole thing was awesome. I thought.
Did he?
Quick
By
ones
the way,
on that.
did he? Was he meant to be shot up like the old days?
I thought because you see that door at the side, and I thought he might have done,
but we never saw it.
I don't think he did.
I don't know.
No, I don't think he did because there wasn't any. I couldn't hear pyro.
It was
They wouldn't have missed that on camera
because it was good seeing Cody's entrance going up because after the last time when he got stuck.
Yeah. No, I don't think it was meant to be.
No.
But yeah, Ray's entrance. I love Dominic's entrance. That Dominic entrance with the video and then coming in because it played that video and I was like, this is so good. And I was like, wouldn't this be funny now if he actually came in the back of the police van?
Yeah.
And he did, and it was great. And he's like struggled to get his hood up, and it all just adds to Dominic's thing.
But I was thinking, what's Rey Mysterio doing out here?
It's so good. I thought it was awesome. I loved it. I loved everything about it. I should have stuck my heart on that one, ironically, instead of my head.
But when
I should have stuck my heart and gone for Ray.
It was funny seeing Balor and Priest coming out and then having the. I don't want to call it LWO.
They're the LWO. It's official. They're the LWO.
Having them come out and helping Ray was cool.
Yes.
But when Bad Bunny came out before the match,
seeing Bad Bunny on the announce team, I was like, something's going to happen. And I thought it was going to be fair, I thought it'd happen between him and Priest because they've got their history.
Yeah.
But obviously there is going to be a path to that now in, now WrestleMania Backlash in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, because it was Backlash and then Vince comes back and it's all on WrestleMania Backlash.
Vince. But yeah, highs, absolutely. I thought the match was great. Ray whipping him.
That was funny.
That was funny.
Dom throwing his drink in his sister's face.
Oh, and he got her flush too. Yeah, it went in her mouth and everything. I was like, oh.
That's how you do it, MJF.
Yeah. I loved it. I thought it was great. It was weird. Obviously, yes, the branding was weird, like having all the adverts and stuff, because it felt so colourful and happy for what was meant to be a serious story. But
they've never said, by the way, if you're watching on Peacock exclusive or whatever it was, this is the story and how it happened. So you're telling me the people that weren't on that, and
yeah, they get normal adverts.
Yeah, just get adverts. They don't. If you were a fan, not a fan, and you're watching it for the first time, why is this match happening? And you're not an exclusive, then it's probably weird. But
I think
then again, why were you watching if you're not a fan?
Well, not necessarily. That's how you become a fan, isn't it?
I guess.
Got to start somewhere. It was very advertisement heavy, this WrestleMania. Very much
But
so.
it always has been on Peacock.
Yeah, but very much so this year. Where it was more blatantly like in your face was between Hell in a Cell and the main event on night 2, because it felt like a really long time.
Yeah,
from the point where that match ended to the point where,
because we needed, like I think I was looking at the clock and it was like 3:15.
Yeah, but they lost time because of Shane and Miz being cut down, and potentially Edge and Balor having time cut off. Potentially, maybe not. But
I think that match would have gone probably like 10 minutes. Not because Edge's matches go long,
but they do. Yeah, but you do expect them to be longer.
Because
it was still great.
It was 18 minutes,
and it was still great.
And the main event was
5 minutes of it, I think, is because of stoppage.
Yeah, and the main event was 33 minutes or something like that.
Roman Reigns' entrance was 7 minutes something.
Yeah, I heard that.
7 minutes something, his entrance, and I loved every second. It's great. It was a great entrance. Cody had a long entrance too, like you're saying with -1, like Brody Jr. The lovely moment that was, giving him the belt, holding his daughter. Nice to see Brandy, and you could catch a little bit of the belt where he's written all of the promotions that he'd wrestled on before coming back to WWE.
Someone said online that you could tell Cody wasn't winning because he didn't look like he was his entrance didn't feel like he was going to win. Like how they talk about Sasha Banks.
When they say people have boo-boo face.
Yeah, have like a face like, I'm not going to win, I'm just here to enjoy it.
I disagree with that. I've given Cody so much rubbish. I've given him so much crap over the past few years. AEW, I'm just saying, I gave him a lot of... I saw his interview with Ariel Helwani.
I haven't watched that yet.
Where he said he was the heel, but maybe it was a bit too nuanced, because he was being a heel by telling people that he'll never go heel. And so that was making him a heel, and that's what he feels. But he thinks maybe potentially, he didn't say that, but like that was the impression. It's like maybe it was a bit ahead of its time. It wasn't. I just didn't like it. Maybe I'll sit here one day and eat my words, maybe, and I'll put my hands up. But
if you got a spaghetti, I have some too.
I haven't actually, but I can get you some if you want some. Do you want me to feed you?
Yeah, can do.
All right then.
Another video. So because you got a webcam doesn't mean you have to do it this way.
But look, I didn't like it, and I gave him a lot of crap. But I can't believe that for a second. I don't think Cody went out with boo-boo face. Cody just looked composed, ready. Whether he was winning or losing, he was in the main event of WrestleMania.
Yes.
The last time he was in WWE before this run, since he's come back, he was Stardust.
Opening WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Well, at least in the main show.
But Stardust. He's gone from that to this. And for all the crap I've given him, I've got to say, that's damn impressive.
Yes.
Nothing but respect for that, because that's, and I just think he was just taking it in. I think he's just taking it in. That is a win in itself, honestly.
You can do the dick thing of going, he went from 10,000 people to 80,000 people, so it's much better. The crowd size doesn't make that much difference.
I think it does.
Well, we saw a CM Punk's debut, but compared to when...
And it was awesome, but but 80,000 people, 160,000 spanned over both nights, but, in that stadium at that one time, 80-odd thousand people, that's a moment. But look, I thought that was awesome, but advert-wise, there was a lot of them. I'm just trying to, quickly run through the other highs and lows now for Mania, because we've got to talk about Vince, and we've got to talk about a little bit about Ring of Honor. There's only one thing I can really say about that Supercard of Honor show, because I haven't watched it all, and it's going to be what everyone thinks we're going to talk about.
Don't know.
Mysterio's Hall of Fame speech genuinely made me tear up a little bit when he was talking about Angie giving him money, and I was like, oh man, Ray loves his family.
Apart from Dom.
That was awesome though. I loved that whole thing, and
I thought it was funny even when Conan comes out there. Dom and Rhea and Priest was just like, don't care.
It's great though. It's brilliant, and obviously. The Hall of Fame was just really nice in general, with everybody being inducted in. It was really cool stuff. Take the Ric Flair bits out. I know a lot of people don't like it and stuff, and but seeing Great Muta going in was awesome.
Yeah,
this really kind of is his year in terms of the retirements. This will be the year for Great Muta to be honoured and everything. But Ray's speech was amazing. Conan introducing him might be my favourite induction speech ever. Conan was awesome.
But can you think of another one I mean, The Rock, but then that was just him being The Rock before he did the...
Yeah, it was, but Conan's was just like, again, you know that history between Conan and Ray.
Yeah.
Well, and if you don't, Conan did an amazing job of showing you that passion, not just for the culture, not just for the heritage of Lucha Libre and everything else, but for just the love that he shares with Rey Mysterio and his family. Like you could tell that shone through, and it was awesome. And he roasted him a bit, and it's exactly how it should have been. It's like a best man speech.
It was.
It was great, but yeah, overall the whole thing. Stacey Keibler.
Yes.
Oh my god, like, there's so much to talk about. That's what I mean. Stacey looks amazing. Lance Storm said on Twitter, she's aging terribly. Everyone was up in arms until they read the rest of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's aging terribly. That's not how you're supposed to age. You're actually supposed to age. That is along the lines of what he put, and he's absolutely right. She hasn't aged.
And the fact she got a WrestleMania entrance for a Hall of Fame.
As well she should. Great Muta, low point. Missed his cue for the miss. Literally. But he's a great Muta, and that's that.
I like the fact when Ray did his bit, and then Muta's just like, oh, right, hi Ray.
No, I think that's just a respect thing, right?
Yeah, but it was like, he's like, I'm happy to be here. Oh, Ray. Oh.
Unless he was upset because he missed his cue.
I missed my...
But Ray, is he the first one that's ever come out like as the headline and gone and shook everyone's hand?
Possibly.
Take it to VAR. Let's find out.
I don't think.
Rey Mysterio, greatest of all time. Greatest luchador of all time.
Because mainly people that do the entrance will say all right to everybody, but they don't shake their hand.
Ray's just the best, isn't he?
And usually it's like some people just don't want to be involved. Do you remember when Stone Cold went in at 25 and did the ATV? I think it's Steamboat sells it. I think it's Steamboat.
I can't remember it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it comes out and like Steamboat goes, whoa.
Awesome. I overall enjoyed WrestleMania.
Highlight, the Fatal 4-Way men's tag. Low light, the women's 4-Way tag, only because it felt like the winners did nothing.
Well, Ronda was already injured going in.
Yeah.
Shayna looks like she got injured during the match because she took the boot off. I think might have been on one of the dives.
That was weird. I'm thinking, where did that come from?
I think it may have been one of the dives see outside of the ring when they was all stood out there. Because it looked... It's the only thing I could see, but it looked like somebody... Like they landed on a leg. Maybe it was that, I don't know. But I think it might have been that.
But I want to talk about the Fatal 4-Way men's because...
Yeah,
everybody... I've said this a lot about... They all put a shift in. Was it Ivar doing the moonsault?
I think he did, yeah.
I was like, where did that come from? Braun doing the dive, where did that come from? Even though I've seen it before. There's only one complaint, and I'm not sure if it was mistiming, when it was the Vikings and Van Haller doing their pose on the ropes, and Braun does his wait for them to do the double team move. They start to get up, and then they go straight back down again.
Yeah.
Apart from that, everything
nitpicky stuff, innit?
And Titus O'Neil calling us Sarah Logan.
Titus O'Neil on commentary anyway is a high
Sugar
hour.
honey iced tea.
Oh man. If you hit me like that, I'm calling the police. 911. I'm calling the police.
No idea why he was there for both the...
Why? It was the most random thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Most random thing, but it was funny.
He was challenged for the IC title. Fine. But...
Titus is challenging for IC title. That Fatal 4-Way though, the men's showcase, Ricochet's shooting star, the cameraman, perfect position for that.
This is a hidden thing. Before he does it, when Chad Gable's behind Braun, they kind of do the reverse of the tall man behind the small man. It's the small man behind.
Ricochet behind him.
No, when Chad Gable does the Germans, he does the sneak up on Braun.
Yeah.
Because usually it's the other way around. It's always like the big man doing the sneak around to the small man.
and yeah, which looked funny. They're going to turn Chad Gable face soon.
Maybe
amazing. We don't know. The creative change.
He's so good.
Those Germans were so
the fact he did it was incredible.
Amazing. And let's not forget about Angelo Dawkins' pounce to Braun Strowman.
That was amazing.
That was a third, wasn't it? That was just pure on just meat on meat.
Because that pop as well for that moment.
Yeah, I think that match got over so quick because it was high octane. And look, you might as well. Like, there wasn't really story going into it. It was the showcase match. Like, these were the guys that didn't really have stories going into Mania. Not for, like, a Mania match. But they're on the card. And like you said, they just thought, well, okay, we're on Mania. Let's just go out there and do our best. And honestly, they, you know, if it wasn't for the fact that night one was already stacked with match of the night candidates, they were dangerously close to getting a match of the night.
Another funny thing is, I think there's a 5-second difference between both the men's and women's. I think the women's is 5 seconds longer, and they're both 8 minutes. And
I think it's probably unfair again to try and compare the two. They're different matches with different people.
Because it was never going to be the same, because they don't allow the women to really do like the high spots like the men did. Because it sounded like everyone apart from Otis is like a dive.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I don't want it to be a whole thing of, you know, because it's a whole debate in its own right. The saying, the men's match, the women's match. Some people are like, well, it's not just it's a really weird thing. I don't want to get into it. I love wrestling. Conan literally said it the best at the Hall of Fame inducting Ray. Talent is, paraphrasing it, but talent doesn't have gender.
It doesn't.
It doesn't have, you know, it's not prejudiced. Talent is talented.
Like we said,
end of discussion.
Both women's tie matches were really good.
Yeah.
I don't think we've talked about the Seth Rollins...
Logan Paul. Oh, wow. Yeah, there's just so much.
That match was in the middle for me.
I got a low point.
KSI?
No.
He took that splash like a champ.
He did.
Can I ask, who did you think was in the suit? Did you think it was?
I thought at the very least it'd be like enhancement talent. Or developmental talent. I thought at the very least, like, it's got to be a wrestler in there, isn't it? But
because I didn't think it would be KSI. I honestly thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be Jake Paul, and they probably wouldn't.
Think they would have put Jake Paul in that though.
It probably could. They probably could have done.
To be fair, it makes sense. It was one of like the, you know, because part of like the sidemen and stuff like that. Like it made sense. It was KSI.
But you got a bottoming ending now, where it's the reveal. It's Ray Aston.
It was funny, but no, my low light is how that match played into night two. Because there was just, again, I don't know if
they showed the entrance, didn't they?
They showed Seth Rollins' entrance in full for no reason. And I just thought, why?
I mean, it was a good entrance.
It was a great entrance, but why am I watching just his entrance on night two? Just in the middle of...
Was it during this match, during the entrance, Logan Paul's like...
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, that's me right now. Why have I just had to watch that again? Like, it was awesome, but I just didn't get
His entrance was good.
Logan's?
Yeah. The zip line. Which is weird,
yeah,
considering
that was cool.
The last time they had a kind of wire was not a good time.
That's not the last time they've used it, I don't think.
I can't think of any other time they used a wire like that.
No, but that was very different. He wasn't... They would, they would avoid a situation like that ever again.
He did, and the same thing with one of the kids in Cena's entrance. He did the same thing. I was like, "This is amazing!" Because that one kid in Cena's entrance was like, "This is insane." It's like I would have said the same thing.
Yeah, and I can't help it. You know, I'm getting, the older I'm getting, I'm seeing that more and more, because it just reminds me of, like you said, like if I was a kid and if I was there now, I'd be like, this is insane. But like, there's just nothing quite beats it when you're a kid, man. Like when you can just get lost in it and you're not as bitter as all of us. We were like, well, didn't like the finish and didn't like there's nothing wrong with that. But like when you're a kid, you just love it, don't you?
Yeah.
And that's amazing. I loved seeing that stuff. So yeah, fair play to him, bless him. But I will say this, speaking of being bitter, John Cena did look like a parody of himself.
Yeah.
He felt like it was something weird about that match. Another low light, but that was a weird one. Highlight was that Austin Theory won.
I liked his entrance.
I'm still maintaining I like Austin Theory. I don't get where the hate's from. I think he's great. Highlight, Seth Rollins' attire.
Yeah.
At least his entrance attire is awesome. He come out, Daryl put this best. Daryl, lead guitarist of UK thrash metal band Muskill, has a new EP coming out soon. There you go.
Yeah, right.
He said it best. He said that Seth Rollins come out looking like one of the nice ones from a Quality Street team. Which is true. It's like, he looks like a strawberry delight. Seth Rollins. Yeah, he looked awesome. Overall, look, WrestleMania, high or low? High. I've already said it was a high for me.
I wanted to give one low light that I just remember now. The bloke who did the intro to the Usos.
Oh, yeah.
And they're saying that's one of the most streamed songs on Spotify. And I'm thinking, how is that possible? That's awful.
Old man energy.
You've
got old man energy now.
I'm 32. I should know.
I'm telling you, this is it.
But it's like, because he was like, did he sing? Is he supposed to be singing? Is he supposed to be talking about the Usos? He just came out.
I think he missed his cue. He didn't miss his cue. He was too early for his cue. Because when he was stood there,
yeah,
and Usos started playing, as soon as the music hit, he turned around. And then I think he realised, they're not out yet. So he turned around again. Then he nodded, and then he turned around. But
if you were meant to sing them out before they did the Usos music, how was that? Why did people stream this? It was all...
I don't know. But it felt like a big thing, didn't it? So,
but forget about that, because the match was amazing.
Yes, it was. And
probably my second favourite match of the whole show.
And a great feeling.
Yes.
That's the feeling. Really good. Got you.
Especially the haluva kick. Then the stunner, then the haluva kick. Man, what a match! What a finish!
What a match!
Right, let's talk about Vince.
Well, okay, we're getting to get pressed for time. Don't want to keep this going for too much longer.
Actually, do you want to forget Vince? Let's do my game.
No, we've got to mention it, but we'll go through quickly. We're going to wish Dante Martin a speedy recovery.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
You just know though that Jim Cornette, it gives him fuel. It gives him fuel. And look, I'm gonna say this right now. Jim Cornette, as much as I don't agree with everything, Jim Cornette knows what he's talking about.
He does.
He's been in this industry for a long time, and he called this, and he has called this, that these kind of spots, I do agree with it. I think it's awesome. The type of what they can do is incredible. But it's going to be really hard to invest in those types of wrestlers long term, because it's hard to see how long of a career they're going to really have, because that's the kind of stuff that can happen. It was borderline Sid Vicious WCW. It wasn't quite as bad in terms of where the break was, but his foot was facing the other way.
But the thing was that spot necessary in a ladder match?
And this is what's weird, because we're fans. What we say is or isn't necessary is a weird subject for us to cover, because we're fans, and it's not really our place. Would I have enjoyed the match without that spot? Yeah, that's all I can say.
Well,
I would have enjoyed the match without that spot, and I'd have enjoyed it even more knowing that someone didn't get injured.
I was going to say, if he didn't get injured, I think I was going, wow, that's amazing, that's a great spot. But I don't think it was necessary. But you get to this point now where you get ladder matches and you need to do something insane.
No, I don't think you do.
But you have.
I don't think you do.
If it was TLC, fine, but not remember that Darby Allin Jeff Hardy match where they did it was for the Owen Hart Cup, and yet they did some stupid stuff like the swanton from a ladder to the outside on chairs.
Thing is, 5-10 years ago, we'd have loved that stuff, I reckon. I would have done. I'd have really loved it. And it's still it's not like it doesn't make me pop, because it does. But because we're getting old. We're old man energy. I'm telling you, this is what it is. We're looking at them thinking, "Cool, my back hurts getting up off the sofa."
But how many times have we seen a ladder match where someone does a dive to the outside, or someone does the same, the ladder bridge? You do get a lot of the same stuff, like most of the time. But it's hard wrestling to be innovative anymore.
I think we are, though. I think as fans, we will eventually be turning this around, because we'll see how many people keep getting injured from it, and I think we'll realise. I think, if anything, that one of the biggest positive impacts that the Triple H creative era, as short-lived as it may be,
R.I.P.
or may have been, one of the things I think it will have really done is changed how we maybe look at wrestling, because, again, the Bloodline story has been so amazing during that time, with Sammy stuff particularly, but it's been so amazing. Yet, how many matches really stand out?
It's a story of the matches. It's not the matches itself.
In short, look, I think story outweighs everything else for me. And you're going to make more money from it potentially if it's done well, and you have a longer career because you're not bumping everywhere. But again, we're not wrestlers. Maybe it's not our place to say.
No,
All we can do is talk about what we like seeing, and that's what I like seeing.
Yep.
Do you know what I don't like seeing?
Vince
back in creative. It finally happened. It was always going to happen. This was the big drama. Speaking of, the big stories, the big story behind the scenes for ages. We'll only quickly go through this, I think, because everyone's covered it, and they'll cover it a lot more than we are. We're just really reacting to it. We don't have to. Yeah, we're seeing what everyone else is seeing. But Endeavour.
This was my reaction.
I don't even look. Endeavour has bought WWE. Endeavour owns UFC. They're going to merge the two. It's going to be a new public traded company. Don't know how it's going to look. They're still going to be their own individual companies, as far as we're aware. But the only thing that
do you know what I found out? This company's only been around 14 years.
Well, that's
and
okay.
all the money they've got this quickly. All the mergers they made this quickly.
That's going to be through good investments, though, isn't it? And WWE is a great investment for them, but I just don't trust what's being said. I think, like a lot of people, because like Vince McMahon said in the interview, when he was asked, "Are you going to be involved in creative?" and he paused for a little bit, and then he said yes and no. And then, of course, the reports come out, because that was a big joke about night 2 of WrestleMania. Triple H booked night 1 and Vince booked night 2. But apparently, according to the reports, Vince was firmly back in control as of Monday Night Raw, the Raw after Mania, and you can tell. Bayley was sent home, apparently. Again, you've got to take this pinch of salt, though. But Bayley wasn't on the show. Seth Rollins was stood in the ring ready for a segment, and then his segment was cut. So the stories of all the rewrites happening was like, oh, God, where have we heard that before? Rewrites during Raw?
Yeah.
Because that's not really been a thing for... Well, since Triple H has been in the seat, really. But Triple H came out and said the same thing. Nothing's going to change. And then what happened? Everything changed, literally, on Raw. So it's really difficult. And that's why it's... you're looking at Mania and you're going, maybe things will be like this down the road. But now we don't know. It's a weird thing. All I'm going to say on it, and then it can be over to you. You're trying to be positive about stuff, really. Because it's so easy to complain about things in wrestling. But it is hard for me to be positive about it, because one of the things that really put me off of WWE for a long time, and maybe kind of just going no, was I just got tired. I got really tired of the product, and it was the Triple H creative from SummerSlam onwards that really revitalised it for me, which it needed to, because I was starting to sour a little bit on AEW. And the problem is now is we're not in the same position where when I soured on WWE, I had AEW to be like, wow, new company. Because although there's good stuff going on in AEW now, again, it doesn't keep me interested every week. That's not to say, I don't like the product. I think it's great that it's there, and there is stuff within AEW that I like, but I'm not interested in watching it every week. So if I'm going to do the same for WWE, I don't know what I'm going to do. There's plenty of wrestling out there. I'll watch, it'll give me time to catch up with other stuff. Probably MLW, certainly Noah.
Well, MLW now that Enzo's gone.
Yeah. And to be honest as well, like Impact's steady.
The Impact is probably the most consistent wrestling company.
Yeah. There's plenty of wrestling out there. So like I'm not overly sad, because I like wrestling and there is so much wrestling out there. But it is sad that I was buying into WWE. And that's always it's hard, because it's always like the childhood. The child in you wants WWE, because that's how we kind of really all got here. But Vince McMahon does have a moustache and has dyed his hair, so at least that is funny to look at, and we can have a laugh about that, because he looks like an old 1920s villain. He looks like what's his name from Wacky Races?
Dick Dastardly.
Yeah,
that's what gave him trouble in the first place, wasn't it?
Well, I'm just saying, I feel like he's doing it as a rib, but
what's the name from the Adams Family?
Wednesday.
Not Wednesday. Doesn't. No, the dad. Can't remember his
Mr.
name.
Adams. That's all I got. I can't remember his name.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. That's what he's been compared to. But I never thought. I never thought I'd see Vince with a moustache, because you always think about. You also there's stories about how.
He said he don't like beard because it makes your chin look weak. Like you'll have a beard if you've got a weak chin. I've got a weak chin apparently. joke's on you, I haven't got a chin at this point. It's all just neck.
But,
Actually, no, I've got like at least 3 chins.
Well, you said it.
I did say it, yeah. I said it before you did.
I am worried, but I don't know. It's just that as negatives as we are, remember some of the stuff that we like start with Vince as well. Don't forget the Bloodline start with Vince, Seth Rollins and all that kind of stuff start with Vince. Cody Rhodes coming back was Vince. All the Bianca stuff was Vince. It's not all negative.
No, everything was Vince.
But how many people that came back are going to go? He didn't want Bayley to be in a trio. He didn't want Bray with all that kind of stuff. He wanted LA Knight to be the male models, which fine. It didn't work out as well, but Gunther was going to lose the IC title and get buried after the segment with R-Truth, I think it was.
Well, based on reports, though, we don't know how true some of those are. We know some are definitely true because they've happened, but...
Hit Row better be going.
Yeah, I don't wish anyone to lose their job.
I don't, but
I know, it's a joke, I know, but like...
that reminds me of another highlight of the WrestleMania weekend. Then during the Battle Royal, Michael Cole goes, do you know who my pick is? It's Top Dollar. You know why? Because he can't go over the top rope.
Michael Cole loves ripping on him, doesn't he?
Yeah, but the Michael Cole we've loved since Vince went is going to go.
We'll know just how much...
Barrett is going to disappear. Pat's going to come back.
We'll know how much Vince is really in control if Michael's commentary changes. But...
Because Vince was backstage all the way through all the stuff with... They talk about PWG at Mania, but not saying PWG. They mentioned Rusev, they mentioned Big Show. But Vince just... We'll see. We've got to give it time. And I know we always complain to wrestling fans after night one of one thing.
It's not night one of it, though. That's the problem.
But when it's the return or whatever debut, we always complain about something.
What I don't like is the lies, because you keep being told nothing's going to change and then it does. And I suppose that shouldn't surprise us in wrestling, but it's annoying because you feel like you're finally onto a good thing and then this happens. The issue I take with it is I don't understand how he gets away with stuff. I guess that it's not technically against the law per se, but morally speaking, I just don't understand it. I don't see how anyone could be happy that he's come back.
Well, he made some mistake. He said he's made mistakes, so that's all fine now.
Yeah, and he seemed super genuine about it when he said it. Look,
can the person who got the money come out and say he gave me this money so he can get arrested like Trump?
Look, I just think...
I mean, Trump's going to get away with it, so Vince will get away with it.
Well,
the Hall of Famer.
That's the thing, he's always got out of stuff, Vince, and he doesn't know what it's really like to lose. I get that. He's a tremendous businessman. We don't have any of it without Vince McMahon. Said it all before, but it's beside the point. Morally, don't like it. Implications for post-WrestleMania, there's talent cuts. We didn't know maybe how that might look under Triple H, but now... It could happen. Don't want to put a dampener on everything though. Like it's just the fan in me is sad because I enjoy Triple H's vision.
Do you know what? It's funny. We had 9 months of no Vince, and then we're giving birth to new Vince.
Yeah, Dick Dastardly. The only thing I can really hope for is that if Triple H did such an amazing job during that time, so Vince does not own WWE anymore. This could be the one saving grace, but it depends. He's a smart man.
He's still the executive chairman, or whatever it is.
But he doesn't own it.
No.
Now, the only thing I can really hope for is that if he really does want to take under the creative again, and it starts to go a bit down the pan, and they can make this clear comparison now, because that's the trouble. We didn't have that before with Triple H. You had NXT, but now you've seen Triple H take over the main WWE product, do a SummerSlam, a Survivor Series, a Royal Rumble, and a WrestleMania under Triple H, to see success between those months versus potentially the same amount of time under Vince coming back into creative. It's all hypothetical because we don't exactly know how it's all going to be, and it might not be that he's in charge all the time, but saving grace could be, if they do see a decline, it's not Vince's company, and maybe they'll be like, off you go, take your car, take your take Muttley and drive off home.
I was going to say, who would be the Muttley?
The moustache, I guess, when he decides to shave it off, and form into like a little.
Would you be Nick?
I tried to do that.
Yeah, I was
I'm
going
gonna
to
cough
It
everywhere.
can't be Nick Khan.
Nick Khan, there you go. Take Nick Khan, he's
Oh,
Muttley.
fine.
Nick Khan is Muttley. It's weird. Uncertain times. There's a lot of doom and gloom about it. We don't like doom and gloom.
No, let's end this on fun.
We are going to end this on fun. You're going to take your clothes off.
Well, we said fun, not
Yeah.
not scare people away.
Not doom and gloom. But look, yeah, we're going to do this. But look, it's just there's wrestling out there. If WWE ends up getting a bit rubbish again, go and watch something else. That's what we'll do.
Yeah, we'll watch.
No loyalty. You see, we're not.
No, I don't.
No loyalty. You don't need
That's why I'm wearing this shirt and not.
Yeah, that's where the big boys play.
Right.
Is that what they call you? Is it the big boy?
No. The old boy.
The old boy. But no, you don't need to be loyal to a wrestling company. You can be, nothing wrong with it. But
yeah, but I don't like people who are like that.
it's just like wrestling, you know? Just like wrestling.
Right.
You're going to introduce everyone to what this is?
So yeah, I've written down.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Five wrestlers who won the TNA/Impact Wrestling Heavyweight title one time. I'm going to give you, like I say, 5 names. You have to put them in the right order of who, from the longest reign to shortest reign.
5 TNA World Champions, longest reign to shortest reign, in order. Okay.
Yeah. So we've got
One collective reign, or
because
in one, like Roman's current reign is like 900 plus days, or how many times they've had it.
They've had one reign. They only had the title once.
They've only had it once. That makes it easy, doesn't it?
Yeah, and
We already had a game on this show. FMK.
No.
F Marry Kill.
Yeah. This is what happens when you do this. But yeah, you're going to have to rank who had the longest reign and who had the shortest reign. So these 5 names are Kenny Omega, Eli Drake, James Storm, Moose, Mick Foley.
Mick Foley's wasn't long. Can I go shortest to longest?
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
I want to say Mick Foley was shortest. Is that right?
Oh, you got to give me the 5 names first before I say.
At least start me off with that, and then I know where I'm at.
No. Give me shortest to the highest then.
Oh, crikey. What's the names again?
So you went for Foley, Omega, Eli Drake, James Storm, Moose.
I'm going to say Foley, James Storm, Eli Drake. No, I'm going to say Foley, Eli Drake, James Storm, Omega and Moose.
So you went for Moose as the most?
I think so, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was Kenny.
Right. In reverse order. So the least reign was James Storm of 8 days. Mick Foley was 63.
Was it really that long?
Yeah.
Wow.
Kenny Omega was 110. Eli Drake, yeah. 146. And Moose, 182.
So I got Moose right.
Yeah.
Moose. You missed it. We haven't done that for so long.
We
Can we do it again?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Moose. You just did a countdown. I can't believe you did that. That was the most nerdiest thing ever.
Right.
I'll come across as a bully on here again now, don't I?
Yeah. Dick. I did some more, but we'll do them at another time.
We could do them another time. Hopefully shorter one. We've got so much to sort out for this, haven't we? First ever proper video. We did the ironically when Vince was gone.
Yeah.
When Vince was gone. Any big news about Vince, and we come out the woodwork on camera. But we did one for that just like webcam. We're just trying to try new things really. We're just talking.
Yeah.
Don't want to tell you.
We know how you love the predictions and the videos like unboxing.
This will be a long time to export. This.
Yeah.
Not that everyone needs to know, but if just it takes a long time to export on my laptop.
I just go on Facebook and one of the first things I see, can he buy Snoop?
Oh.
Yeah, you
had to show that to the computer, didn't you? Then you forgot where you were.
Yeah, Snoop Dogg's got his own wine. You probably was on it.
I'd love to be on it. We've probably missed a lot of highs and lows.
We didn't talk about the 6-woman tag. I think that was the only match we didn't talk about.
Oh, Trish Slater and well, look, I don't know.
Because I don't want to talk about it.
It was awesome.
Only because I know I say something about Trish and just
look, Trish looks incredible. Let's just be honest.
I noticed because obviously that was day one and obviously I didn't watch it live, but I noticed that she had the same kind of outfit as May 21.
Yes.
And then was it Corey Graves said it? Michael Cole said it. It's like
one of them said it.
One of them said it. There was only 2 commentators of that match, so
one of them said it. But yeah, we've definitely missed a load of stuff. We've definitely been all over the shop.
Yes.
We'll get better at this, but the video aspect is tricky.
Yes.
Tricky.
It's tricky.
Welcome
tricky.
to our the rest of the journey. The beginning of the journey. I've lost the will to speak.
Yeah, one and done.
That's it. We're done now. Retired.
I think we should also mention that coming soon we will do an unboxing.
Oh yeah, unboxing.
Because we've been busy.
Yeah, it's the WrestleMania weekend, isn't it? It's tricky to go through.
I've got we're not going to do it today, but I've done we're going to do Starcade 96 review. Review.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, I am. God. We've probably got more predictions in the future. Well, we don't know when. We don't even know when the next show is.
We need to add more so I can beat you. Preferably ones if
when's
any local promoters that want to give me their results ahead of schedule, by the way, just let me know.
We've got progress soon, but we're not going to be there. I know the results are going to be hard. I don't know if you're
I'm off to 1PW this month.
Is that again?
Yeah.
But no Osprey.
Unfortunately not, I don't think now. But yeah. Well, anyway, we've got a lot of good stuff coming. And we would like to thank you for sticking around. Sticking something somewhere. For sticking around with us for the show. And if you've enjoyed the show, wherever you're listening to us, 5-star on Apple and Spotify. Mm-hmm. You can leave a comment and a review, and you can either like, you can subscribe, you can follow, you can do anything. Be anything.
Be a star.
You can.
Don't be Vince.
Don't do that. Be successful.
Russo.
Be successful like Vince. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, Russo, not Batman.
Don't be. What?
Just swerving you, bro.
You're swerving something. But yeah, if you've enjoyed the show, do make sure to leave us some nice reviews and things. Tell your friends and I don't know.
Make sure they steal your friends after they've seen it.
Put it in the newspaper.
Yeah.
But no, we appreciate you and we appreciate you sticking around, and we are definitely going to get better at this.
We said that about the unboxing videos.
That's true. But yeah, wherever you are and whatever you are doing, hope you're having a good day and look after each other. Stay safe. We're going to catch you again next week, I think, and we're going to go through some more bits. We've got a really cool episode coming up soon. We're looking at E-Feds. We'll have a very special guest on the show. He's a legend in the E-Fed scene. So keep your eyes peeled for that one.
Mm.
Until then, you can send them home now if you want. That's already home. I feel like we need to close the show properly. We never really get to do it. You're very awkward. More awkward than me. And that is saying something. I think that's probably it.
I'm trying to think of the right thing of just instead of going bye. What else is there? What can you do?
Goodbye.
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 Au revoir. Is there any of us that you can think
of? Marie, she looked good, didn't she? She was nice.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.